1040.com podcast. Your taxes, smart and simple. Hey, and welcome to the 1040.com podcast. Sue, I don't know about you, but it's episode 22.
What was this?
22.
There's a lot going on.
I had to change it up because what you guys don't know, I'm just all over the place pointing. What you guys don't know is that this is the third time we've started this episode, and I've said that lame joke 3 times. Sue made it the first time, I stole it, and now have said it 3 times. It's episode 22.
It is. What a delight.
I almost said it's Monday. It's not. It's Tuesday.
It feels like a Monday.
Kind of feels like a Monday. That's all right, though. It's June. It's summertime. Is it officially summertime?
No. The
Logan,
21st
on the check?
or the 22nd?
Logan's behind the camera.
Something.
He's checking. All right, he's checking.
This is
we'll
the
get that
important
update.
stuff.
Yeah. It feels like summertime. We're treating it like summertime.
It feels
I'm
really
tan.
good. I didn't have to freeze while I waited for you to bring your key card to the door.
Oh,
The
yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
What you been up to?
Change the subject,
Yeah.
Paul.
Let's not go anywhere
I don't want
quickly.
to talk about that.
Yeah.
Not much. Been working on tax reform for the blog,
Yeah.
so that's been fun
Yep.
to get through. But I think it's going to be really awesome. We just got our new estimator up and going, so you can see how tax reform is going to affect you next year.
Yeah, that's super cool.
For now, and so we're
For now,
busting out. Yeah. So we're busting out new content and for the blog, for the tax guide, all of that. So it's been really cool to kind of get in with that. But you've been to Florida.
I've been to Florida, but work-wise, yeah, I've been digging through some videos. I found some old ones.
Oh no.
And we need to redo them.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
We get an update?
June 21st.
Wow.
That's right.
That is so late.
I know. Well, it's just technically that's the longest day of the year. It's the winter
All right.
solstice.
Well, I'm still grilling out and mowing my grass and playing in the pool and whatever.
You sound like the middle class fancy.
Yeah. Oh, go follow those guys. All
You're
right.
amazing. Okay.
Today, we are gathered here. Today, we are talking about how to manage your money like a pro.
Yes.
All right, and that's when we say pro, that we're not saying we're pros.
Yeah, just
We got some good tips, and these are tips I was reading over these. These are tips that I myself want to kind of dig up and kind of start using or thinking about using. Or
yeah, because the summertime's I know when you're an adult, you don't get summer off, but there's something about it being in the summer, that you're just okay.
It almost seems like
Time
the
to
world
chill out.
slows down a little bit. You kind of regather, get some rest in, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's a good time to kind of review your financial habits.
There we go.
You know that stuff we all like doing?
All right, so speaking of the word habits, all right. The first point we got for you today is get real. Get real, all right? Girl, get real.
This is just full of
about your spending habits.
Yes.
I've got some bad ones, and I was thinking about this when I looked over. I justify things.
Yeah.
Right? So yesterday, I go to the grocery store, and I'm buying food. I'm a bachelor for the week, so I'm buying food for the week. And I'm like, man, that's expensive. That's expensive. But then I'm like, yeah, but you're going to get 6 meals out of this, right? But I would go to a restaurant and spend half of what I spent at the grocery store, in one go, and be like, oh, that's just what it is. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I justify weird things. So
you think about money differently.
depending on what it is.
Yeah, because I know when I eat fast food for lunch, I'll spend, depending on where I go, anywhere between $4 and $7, and I'm like, that's fine. But if I'm in a bookstore and there's a book for $10, I'm like, I could probably find it for $2.50 somewhere else. You know, it's you think differently about money. It's it's the same. So changing the way that you think about stuff, that's definitely a habitual thing. So that's mostly the idea kind of coming into this is realizing the spending habits that you have and understanding okay, what's good, what's bad, where do I need to get better, where do I need to kind of pull back a little bit. So one of the things you can do So you said that you're going to be a bachelor for the week. That doesn't happen a lot for
Right.
you.
Yeah, no.
But if you were going to like say, okay, I'm going to restart with my budgeting. I'm going to restart with my finances.
My fancy
Your
finance.
fances. Your fances. That's not the word.
I liked it though.
Okay, thanks. You and your T-Swift jokes and
22.
it's a good time. But take all of the income that you've earned in the last month, even if it's from odd things. So if you've done odd jobs for people, and then also look at all the ways you've spent money. So usually you won't spend money buying for just one person, but take that into account too, and look at just how that looked over the course of the month. After you've done that, you can kind of get a bird's eye view of the things that you do consistently, like bills you have to pay and that sort of thing, and then other things that just kind of come up. Because a lot of times when we budget, we don't take into consideration the things that just kind of happen. So every time I do it, a lot of times it kind of fails later on because I'll be like, oh, here's all of the things that I have to pay, and I'll give myself like $100 for food or whatever. But then I don't think about, oh, I'm going on a trip later this month, so I'm going to have to budget for that.
Yeah.
Those sorts of random
Do you do like a
things.
zero-based budget? Like where you zero out everything?
I don't. I try to. For me, it's almost more rewarding if there's a little bit left over, and I can just kind of like stash that away. I think a lot of it is just knowing yourself mentally, because a lot of people really do. There's the $0 thing, but that just stresses me.
I know with that
out.
I've seen people do it and they like leave money like for incidentals or like they know the trip's coming up, so they put that in
Right.
for that month only, and then after that it goes back to incidentals or savings or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, just
So,
curious.
yeah. Finding what works for you,
Sure.
I think, is probably the best. So the next thing is kind of interesting, especially with everything that's been going on in the credit world and everything, checking your credit reports.
Right.
So I don't make a habit of doing this, so this was interesting to kind of get into. But checking your credit report isn't just good to kind of see where you are, like what your grade is on your, paying back
Yeah, we
debt
got
and
an
that sort of
identity
thing.
game going on now.
Exactly. There's an identity thing. So it's not just about seeing where you are. It's also making sure that you're correcting any incorrect information,
Right.
because you don't want anything to mess up your credit score, and also checking for potential fraud. I cannot talk today.
Well, that's what I was getting at with the identity. Like, if you're not checking your credit score, you have no clue if somebody else has completely wrecked that thing for you.
Exactly. So you can get your credit reports on Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion, and each of those say that you can only access it for free once a year, but you can access all three of those throughout the year. So
Right.
you can only do it once with like TransUnion, but then at a different point in the year you can go to one of the two others. So it's kind of spread it out so you
Nice.
can get an idea.
Yeah.
So that's important.
So I like this next point, the review your tax situation. Were you done?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. The review your tax situation. I don't know what you mean by this, right off the cuff, but just reading. But I wonder if it's something where you go, when I think about doing my taxes, and it's always like frantic, right?
Yeah.
Like you have this time frame to do it, but taking, like we were saying earlier, summer, where things seem, a little. Let me just get that
He's
out of there
allergic
real
to
quick.
taxes.
Yeah, I'm allergic to taxes.
It's a hard job.
Sorry. Summer, we were saying it's slower, so you take that time to actually review how you filed.
Yep.
Pull this year's return, look through it. Where did I mess up? What could I have done different? Where could I have been better? Where could I have been more attention to detail? What receipts could I have had
Yes.
better on hand?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Or the systems, because we did an episode or two where we talked about the systems leading up to tax season to help make that process easier. So I'm hoping that's what you're about to dive into.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna
That's
say.
really big information. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, because you've already got your tax documents out, or at least kind of on the surface of your pile of, information. So going back through it, you made an awesome point about like making a note of what receipts to keep. So if you have, all these extra deductions that you could be getting if you could just prove it, like planning out your year and saying, okay, what did I need this time? You know, when I was filing
Right.
my taxes, how can I do better to make sure that this is easier on me?
Mm-hmm.
Because really, filing your taxes, when you sit down to actually fill out that tax return, that's not really what's hard. It's making sure that you have all your passwords, making
Yeah.
sure you have all your documents and all that. So if you make an effort on the front end to keep that organized, to make sure that you've got everything that you're going to need, filing is going to be a breeze.
It is a breeze, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And another thing, just to tack on to that, we mentioned the tax estimator that we're doing now, but a really, really important thing for everyone to do right now is to look into tax reform and see how it's going to affect you, because all of those changes are now in effect. So people need to be aware that their taxes are going to be very different next year when they go to file than they are now. A lot of those things are good, are going to benefit people. The net benefit for a lot of people is going to be higher, but employers are changing how much they're withholding, so making sure that you're at least aware of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we have an awesome calculator that you put in some information about your finances, and it will give you an estimation of how tax reform will affect you
Right.
next year. So,
Which is super cool to see. I mean, this whole thing's kind of about, you know, taking a look at your financial situation, planning, kind of getting a hold of some things. So that's a really good one in the process. If you have time this summer to do that, to go take a look, use the calculator. It is really cool. And we've got some more tax reform knowledge bombs coming soon. We're really close on some things. So
trying to make it like as simple as possible, because there's a lot. I mean, obviously there's so much information, but a lot of that information is very specific to specific people. So making sure that what generally applies to most people is put in as simple terms as possible, which has been really cool. I've learned a lot, for sure.
I'm sure. It's crazy. Was that good on the text?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, slow down, look at it. That's something you don't think to do that.
Yeah,
like,
you really don't. You're like,
taxes is like
taxes
a one
are
and
over.
done thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you are out of it. But yeah, I'm encouraged to go take a look at my family's taxes now and kind of see, like, are we doing this the most beneficial way possible?
Right.
All right, last point for the day. Define your goals and check back in with yourself I can't say this word.
Regularly?
Regularly.
You got
I said
it. You got it.
I can't say it quickly.
So yeah.
Huge.
So this kind of goes back to every single one of these points. So if you're going to get real about your spending habits, you have to eventually set goals. If you're going to check your credit reports, like know where you want those to be, where you want your credit score to be, and knowing your tax situation. Do you want a refund next year? Do you want more money in your paycheck next year? Understanding how to take control of your financial situation, and a lot of that is setting those goals, but not just setting them, like saying, okay, between now and December, this is what needs to happen. So maybe once a month, like, you could sit down with your spouse, I could sit down with my cat, and we'll just work it out over the course of the year. So having accountability and making sure that you do that. My cat won't hold me accountable. She'll just look at me with judgment. And
hey, something I do, a quick tip that works for me, it might work for you guys, or you. I email myself or set.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I set up. So like today, if like Logan or Tucker in the room with us, you can't see them. If they said, "Hey, don't forget, we've got something next week," like, and it might not be like an official meeting, but it's like an event or something, like not work related, I would put that on my calendar, right? So right then, I just stop. So let me add it to my calendar, and I've had to learn over the last like 2 or 3 years to use the calendar really well.
Yeah.
But now I add, like, I'll be like watching TV at night or doing something, and I'll think about something I need to do at work tomorrow, the next day. And so I'll say, and I talk to myself in like really like plain terms. I go, "Hey loser, you're gonna forget this, so don't, remember you got to do blah 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 today." And so then tomorrow, I set it up for the next day, set a reminder to the reminder.
Yep.
And then bam, like in the middle of my day, it's like this thing pops up on my phone. "Hey loser, this is Paul from last night," and it's fun, and it like helps keep me on track. So setting goals, I would highly encourage you to kind of schedule out, throughout the year, throughout a month, whatever it is, a message to yourself, talk to yourself. It's really funny. It makes me laugh. And it works. I mean, it just flat out works for me. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You got any more tips?
No, I'm fresh out of tips.
Fresh out of tips.
Fresh out of tips.
All right. So we've talked about it quite a bit. The tax reform calculator, it is live.
Yes.
Yes, it is live. The tax reform, more news on that. It'll be on our homepage. Head over to 1040.com. It'll be right up at the top. We call it the hero image. So right at the top of the page, it'll be a split 50-50, and you'll be able to click right into a whole section of our website. It's going to be dedicated to tax reform and what that means for you all coming up in the coming tax season. We call it tax season. What it means for you to file your taxes next year, all right? We're not going to fancy it up. Share. Please share. We're about to dive into changing up the way this looks and feels and sounds, and
It's going to be awesome.
it's going to be fun. So we'll be hitting you with some new.
We'll be hitting you new.
We'll be hitting you new. Yeah,
Fresh
with some new
hits.
episodes and some new fun things. In fact, not the next episode, but the next one, we're going to replace Sue with her sister.
Okay, we're not replacing it.
Yeah, we're replacing Sue with
Not
her sister.
replacing.
And tell us what she's going to be talking about.
So my sister is a freelance artist. She works online. She does commissions for anybody who wants like full body. She does like a lot of cartoony type stuff. So, and she has really been rocking that out for the past like year, 2 years. She's ranks really high. I can't remember if she's in the top or at least the top 3 on the website that she uses to coordinate with clients. Yeah. So
Wow.
she's legit.
So that's kind of what we're getting into with the new feel of the podcast. We're going to be having a lot of guests on, talking to them about what they do, and then we'll do our best to slap some tax info on the end of it, or point you to a blog that Sue's already written or will be writing to kind of talk more about what that person's tax situation could or should or something look like. All right, I'm going to shut up. We'll get out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Share it with your friends. We'll see you soon.